So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate engaging and connecting with the pelvic floor muscles. I am going to use a little prop of a block to connect with the muscles. There's three muscles in the pelvic floor, and when I describe them, I use a little diamond analogy. So the first muscle we describe as north and south of the little diamond. That's the levator ani. So that is the front of the pelvic floor, the back of the pelvic floor. The second muscle is the transverse perineal muscle. We'll be using the block to demonstrate that. We describe that as the east and the west of the pelvic floor. And the last one is the bulbospongiosus, last but not least. And that's a little figure of eight muscle. And that goes from around the vulva, it crosses over the perineum, around the anus and back. And it's that beautiful little figure of eight muscle. Again, we will just use our breath and we will use our connection of moving somatically and then just to find that connection. And once you get that little light up of the muscle, it'll be easier to practice. You can do this anytime, anywhere, and just you can drop in and use your breath. So again, we're going to come and lie in neutral resting pose. And again, I'm going to inhale, I'm going to take my hands either side of my rib cage. And then on the exhale, I'm going to keep a nice little neutral spine, so gap underneath my lower back. On my exhale, I'm going to imprint my lower back into the mat. And as I do so, my kind of tailbone, you'll start to feel my tailbone lifts and I feel my back passage engage. I'm just going to connect to that and see if I can hold that grip. I'm going to hold it. You can still breathe. You don't have to hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So that's the south of the little diamond, south of the pelvic floor. And again, inhale, we're going to come back into that neutral position. And then on the next breath, inhale through the side ribs. And then exhale, I'm going to roll my tailbone, my lower back arches, and I'll start to feel as if I'm pulling my pubic bone towards my heels. And again, that's the front of the pelvic floor. So it almost feels as if you're holding the flow of your urine. You're holding, engaging for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in return, that neutral spine position. And then I'm going to take my block, I'm going to turn it lengthways, and I'm going to press it between my knees. And then again, keeping that nice little neutral spine, that small little gap underneath your back. Inhale through the side ribs. And then exhale, I'm going to press my knees into the side of the block. And again, that's the transverse perineal muscle. That's the second muscle of the pelvic floor. You start to feel a little bit of a shake. So that's your east-west. So that's normal. So again, we're going to see if we can hold that for 5, 4, 3, and don't forget to breathe, 2, 1, because some people hold their breath and go. So again, it's always on the exhale, because our pelvic floor muscles can only engage on the exhale because the diaphragm, when we inhale, presses down, pushes all our organs, it pushes that internal intra-abdominal pressure, and then as we exhale, the diaphragm lifts up and it leaves that lovely space. So it's always on the bottom of the exhale that we engage. And it will feel almost as if you're just pressing the tops of your fingers onto the tops of your hand. It's very subtle. And over time, we'll build more awareness and you'll be able to feel that connection even more. So I'm going to release the block. And then I'm going to, again, do the same exercise without moving the body. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath. Inhale through the side ribs. Exhale, engage the south of the diamond. That's the back of the pelvic floor. And then inhale, exhale, hold that grip. Engage the front of the pelvic floor. So this is the levator ani. And then on the next breath, inhale, exhale. Imagine you're pressing that block in between your knees, east-west of the pelvic floor. And then very last but not least, that bulbospongiosus muscle, that little figure of 8 muscle. It feels like you're pulling north-south, east-west, and bringing them all together in that beautiful finale. And then we're holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. And then the more that we connect with our awareness and our breath, always inhale and exhale. And you can practice this maybe 3 times a day, and then just literally hold for 5 breaths and release. So 3 times a day. So you could do it if you were sitting waiting in the car. It's always quite good if you're sitting in the car as well to practice the engagement of pulling the lower abdominals in. So So again, often when the belly is soft, and then pull the lower abdominals in. So that's another little engagement exercise they can practice every day. So hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you have fun practicing your pelvic floor exercises. And remember that when you're doing your Pilates exercise, this is like the hotel lobby. This is the entrance of the core, and it's really important to take that pressure off the neck, so that we get to enjoy our classes and do them with connection and engagement. And hope you enjoyed the video.